There is a physical ache to standing at a doorway or a window in the heavy rain, staring out into the distance. It is an act of holding physical space for someone else. The person keeping this vigil knows the truth. They admit that the individual they are looking for no longer comes to them and will not stay, no matter what they do. A voice emits a signal, but it hits a communication vacuum, dissipating before reaching its target. Human connection relies on a feedback loop. When the receiving node drops offline, that loop breaks, leaving the sender broadcasting into an empty void. The narrator recognizes this broken loop. They choose to endure the pain of waiting at the window, carrying out a demanding physical duty for a ghost who will never arrive. The rational brain processes this reality. It calculates the odds, accepts that the story will remain unfinished, and gives up the expectation of a reunion. Outside observers see someone continuing to dwell on a finished relationship and dismiss it. To them, bearing this much emptiness looks like foolish craziness. This cross-section of a psychological model shows why society gets it wrong. Observers only see the calm, static layer of external behavior, missing the dark cavity taking up the mind. To survive, the brain builds a strict quarantine, isolating the pain to maintain normalcy. Meanwhile, the former partner operates without this heavy internal load. They have moved on, placing their trust and their yearnings on someone else. The narrator's mind has factored in all of this evidence. It is argued that the relationship is over, sealing the case for closure with rational certainty. Then a shift in the weather shatters that rational certainty. Environmental triggers, a long night of stars or a sudden monsoon, bypass the cognitive defenses. These moments force the mind back into a state of active longing. Without any conscious permission, the emotional memory fires off, forcing the narrator to call out for the missing person all over again. The sheer scale of the monsoon rain and the night sky dwarfs the individual. Surrounded by those massive physical elements, the narrator feels disoriented and lost. They admit that if the longing lingers, they linger with it. Their daily existence is now symbiotically attached to the ongoing pain of the absence. The cognitive brain did its rational job, but it was entirely overridden by an emotional nervous system that refuses to let the memory die. The love doesn't perish, and it doesn't find its target. Instead, it solidifies. The emptiness turns into an intricate architecture built out of negative space inside the chest. People forget, and deep affections fade away. Time is the only impartial entity left to sit back and quietly catalog the slow, inevitable decay of the bond. Yet, a strange thing happens to this internal cavity. The severe pain burns itself out, and the sheer weight of the loneliness becomes a steady, calming anchor. The narrator listens to the whispering wind to process the silence. When external sounds pass through the internal void, they are refined into creative expression, turning isolation into music. This creative engine is self-sustaining, using the permanent emptiness as fuel, requiring nothing from the past. The wait at the door no longer requires an arrival. The unrequited longing organizes the mind into a new structure, leaving behind a permanent emptiness that produces art.